So my mother was a very beautiful inside and outside person. She was always so put together that I think I just kind of followed her roles.
My mother was the person that did my hair up until high school, just about. On the weekends, we did the washing and the prepping, and then during the week, we did the touching up. Everything had to be snatched to the gods. That means it is coiffed just so. You could not have hair out of place and expect, to walk the Atlanta streets, at least not in my family.
I don't think I grew up with a typical black hair culture. My mother was mixed, and she had a white mother growing up, and she has entirely different hair than I do. So hair care for her was much different. And for me, with me growing up, she just kind of let my hair do what it would.
There was no rhyme or reason of it all with my mom. She was a stylish woman, but she never, she wasn't a teacher in that way. And from when I can remember, maybe 6 or 7, I was doing my own hair. I definitely had hair issues as a child, just because it was up to me to kind of maintain it, do it, and I had no idea what I was doing.
My look was different than most people, just by basis of not having the same hair as most of the people I went to school with. In a way, being a white woman with super curly, coily hair was, as challenging. I tell that story to a lot of women I meet, women of color, who say, well, I just never understood that white women could face the same kind of issues that I dealt with, and I think it was as hard for me.
My Jewish grandmother was the one who took care of me. She had never, ever, not only seen anyone that looked like me, let alone touched hair like mine. And so I remember being sent to school with baby oil in my hair, Vaseline in my hair. School pictures, I was 5'7" and 80 pounds with braces and my hair brushed out to here. I wish that somebody had pulled my mother or my grandmother aside and said, that child's hair looks crazy.
Growing up, my ritual with my hair and my mom was pretty much simple. Every day, showered, wash hair every day, condition, comb it out, air dry.
I have straight, very simple hair. And the way we grew up is you wash it with Johnson's baby shampoo, and it air dries. You can basically comb my hair with my fingers, and that's what my mother did.
How complex is hair? My hair is quite complex.
My mother cut my hair into a pixie from the time I was a young child through middle school. She was doing it because she thought it looked cute and it made it easier, not understanding that having hair, an inch all over your head wasn't an attractive look for a young girl and an adolescent.
My mom is from Africa. When she moved to America, her focus was on getting a better lifestyle for herself, possibly getting some education if that was an option for her, finding work, and then she had me. And I came out with a head full of kinky, curly, coily hair. And my mom always tells me that my hair was so thick to do, and it was so hard on me because I was always crying and she was always stressed out about me crying. So for her, the only way that she could care for my hair was to chemically treat it.
Every week, or whatever the time period was, that was a struggle. She and my aunt would have to hold me to the sink because, to wash my hair, because it was very coily and curly. And it was just a lot of work. It was just a lot of work. She needed my aunt to help her with the towel and passing the shampoo and whatever the case may be. And it just became a lot of work. She's like, my arms were always tired by the time I was done. I can't do this. So basically, I got a relaxer at 7, 8, 9 years old. I got it very young. And then from there till last year is when I had a relaxer. And I'm now 34 years old.
My worst childhood memory of having my hair done was having it pressed with a hot comb, for Easter, and hearing my hair sizzle near my ears, and just being afraid to move and then but moving anyway because you thought that the heat was, because I thought that the heat was going to touch my scalp. So it wasn't traumatizing, but I just remember the anxiety of almost having been burned.
There was a girl on my track team who had the long ponytail that swished, and I just wanted a ponytail that would swish. You know, when I wore a ponytail, it was like a puff, and it would just it wouldn't move. You know, to have a ponytail that swished was all I ever wanted.
As a teenager, I fought against my hair a lot. I straightened it a lot. I dyed it a lot. And then I'd say right before I headed off to college, I became really interested in my natural curly hair. And so I started, asking questions of other people with curly hair. I started researching online, finding out, the best ways to take care of curly hair. And then by then, I was 18 years old. You're definitely doing your own hair primarily. I didn't have a lot of money, so I wasn't going to salons. So for me, it was a lot of trial by error, just trying everything myself, basically.
Getting my hair blown out really changed my life. It changed my life completely. It became easier to go and get my hair blown out every 4 or 5 days than to buy product and obsess every morning, crunching, curling, patting it down. If my hair curled the way my 2 girls' hair curled, I would wear my hair curly.
If my daughter's hair is a mess at home, I'm generally okay, and I'll just make a note to self okay, we've got to get to that. But I do my best not to have her in public with her hair in shambles.
If their hair's messy, I don't feel good. I'm always trying to rush to them and sort of fix it a little bit. But sometimes they look cute with that messy look. They're still so young and their faces are beautiful. So even when they are messy, it still looks good.
Nah, I'm not interested in her hair being out of place. See, it takes me back to, I think the days when mine was, and I hated it.
Well, my daughter has curly hair, and so I was determined from the time she was a young child, she's gonna love this hair. I wanted her to feel like she had options.
After I feel like I've done their hair to go somewhere and I see that it's messy, there's something deep inside me that happens. And it's like a hair rage. This comes from my own childhood embarrassment of how my hair was taken care of. So now I'm overcompensating with my own children.
I went through a period of being afraid to go near her hair because our hair relationship started out on a really rough patch. The conversation of taking care of hair really started in utero because my girlfriend was like, listen, you are a white woman and you can't have a biracial child running around with hair that's not taken care of. And it didn't come to fruition until I actually had my daughter, and the first time I walked into my mother-in-law's house. She went upstairs, came back downstairs with a basket full of product and hairbrushes and sat down and was like, sit here.
I thought her hair could be treated like mine, and I found out the hard way that it cannot. For example, I learned that you can't brush her hair dry because then she wakes up like this, and then I have to tame it with water and different types of product and spray it. So now her new ritual is what I really learned from my friends who have curly hair or her type of hair, and they're like, okay, this is what you do. You only can wash it maybe every 3 days because it's gonna get dry and you're gonna ruin it. Just use a little bit of shampoo, wash it out, and then put the conditioner in and let it set. We call it wet set.
I think the times when I'm flat ironing her hair are really great mother-daughter times. We sit there for the 20 minutes it takes to straighten her hair, and we have these great conversations. Nobody taught me about beauty. It's interesting because I was such a magazine junkie, and what I learned about beauty was I didn't have the same beauty as other people.
My job as a stylist, particularly an advocate of natural hair, is to help women embrace the beauty that they were given. In this culture, we've been told so many times that we're not enough.
I think in our culture, we're set up to to maintain certain standards. And the thing I want my daughter to know most is that she doesn't have to live up to any standard. And what she wants is what I have and what Barbie has and what every other image is out there, what her American Girl doll has and all of that. So I struggle every day with her and try to, while I'm trying to implement in her, you know, this sense of self-esteem and self-worth, I have to have these conversations about why it's okay to be different and why it's okay to have different hair.
Her hair was locked from the time she was about 2.5 to about 9, and I thought she was beautiful, and she felt very beautiful. Some classmates told her that her hair was ugly. I gave her the option to maintain her locks and wear them, or to change her look and cut her locks. And at 9, she decided to remove and cut her locks. So she started tearing up and crying. And I said, baby, what's the matter? And she says, you know what, Mom? It's like I'm gonna lose a friend. I said, it's okay, because it's just hair. It's not, doesn't make you. This is only a part of you.
My beauty mantra that I'm passing on to my daughters is to love yourself, find what makes you happy, and it will radiate through your skin and make you feel better about yourself so that you want to wake up and do your hair every day the way that you like and take care of yourself in a way that makes you feel good when you go outside.
It was a lot to learn for me. I'm pretty basic when it comes to hair, and I didn't grow up with a lot of like hair rituals per se. It was more just about taking care of yourself and grooming. And now I need a lot more time, a lot more product than I've ever used before. So it has in essence become a ritual.
I was a single parent, so maybe during the week I wasn't always there, I wasn't always available. Maybe someone else would pick her up from school. I would come home late sometimes, but that time together around her hair was always our time together. And so it made it very comforting.
So unfortunately my mom passed away, and it's only been 3 years, so it's very hard for me to deal with it still. But she always I used to lay on her even when I was in my 20s, and she used to just brush my hair, and it just felt so good, you know. And now even with my girls, I do that to them, and they always just stay there like for what seems like hours. But that was probably the best memory with my mom, just her, you know, on a Saturday morning watching TV, and she would just kind of rustle her fingers through my hair. And it's something that I really do remember vividly.
The time spent with my mom, I cherish that, because now that I'm older, we don't have a lot of that anymore. Sometimes I still try to hold on to her, to have her do something for my hair, but she's really not interested anymore. She's like, girl, you can do your hair. And I know that those are memories and experiences that I plan to have with my daughter as I'm doing her hair as well.
I always knew, you know, as a child, it was like I made mental notes of all the different things that hurt me or that I wish I would have had, and I've kind of stored them away, knowing that I would be different with my children.
I think it's a whole different world now. Millennials have less baggage than people my age. Like, they have grown up kind of embracing uniqueness.
When they see someone who's really confident about their hair, who has a similar texture, but who's embraced it, who loves it, who just rocks it and talks about it in a way that's not negative but is very positive, and they can feel that, they themselves all of a sudden are like, I can do this. If she can do this, and she has no problem with it, and she looks just like me, and she's from where I'm from, and we're the same age, I can do the same. And then they become more engaged and more confident about their look.